Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our best class setups in Modern Warfare series and the first one of the Season 2. So glad Season 2 is out. It is fantastic to play with all of the new content, and when I was reading the patch notes yesterday there was something that stood out for me, and boy did this really stand out for me. Like, there's an Akimbo weapon perk? What is that? This might be the biggest mistake they've ever added into Modern Warfare. The Akimbo 357 snake shot revolvers. This is an unbelievable thing they've added to the game. When I saw this, this was literally the only thing that I could think of. I mean, well, not really the only thing. Like, the Akimbo Deagle would probably be quite good too, and I might make a class on it if it is as strong as I think it might be. But I think this is probably the most overpowered thing in Modern Warfare by so much. It's unbelievable. Like, I was using this for a little bit yesterday, but I ran out of ammo super quickly. I was actually pretty bummed out. Like, this is actually really strong, but you do run out of ammo super quickly. Plus, you can't add fully loaded to this class because of the Akimbo being a perk, but me being probably the dumbest man in the universe shouldn't get in the way of you using the most busted thing in this game, because Scavenger actually exists in this game. I somehow managed to completely forget about Scavenger. I have no idea how I missed this, but before we do get into the class here and my inability to remember simple perks, let's try and get this video to 10 likes. The support has been absolutely unbelievable recently. You guys have been so fantastic liking and watching all the videos. So if you do enjoy the class setups and other videos, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on so you don't miss any more of my videos. So let's talk about how broken this is. So if you've not used the 357 snake shot before, you've been living under a rock, man. Like, you've been living in the absolute stone age in terms of sidearms. This is the best sidearm in the game, hands down. It certainly does take a fair while to get it to this power level, but once you get it there, it is unbelievable. Basically a pocket shotgun that allows you to sprint around as fast as possible because it's a sidearm. It's between a 1 to 3 shot kill, but imagine if you had 2 of them. Couple of shots and whoever is unlucky enough to be in your way is dead, basically. This is especially fantastic on those small maps like the newly added Rust. I mean, it's not going to be super fantastic most of the time on Rust. You are going to struggle if you're sort of in the wide open sight lines, but if you can get in and out of like the shipping containers and stuff like that, you will basically kill everyone who comes close to you. Shipment and shoot houses is also going to be really powerful on too. But like I said, you might struggle a little bit on Rust because there's no cover on some of the parts of the map. So you do want to take your enemies by surprise with this, so maybe pick a different loadout for Rust. It's not super strong on there. You do have to try this thing though, it is so wildly powerful, so let's talk about the class here. Right, so we're going to go through our primary perks and grenade choices here. They are a little bit more specific than our usual class setups, plus they completely changed around the perk system, so I'm still trying to work out my best class setup. But for this class, I've got you sorted. So in the primary slot, you'll definitely want to have a riot shield for maximum toxicity. Like, this will make people super upset, and then you hit them with the 2 pocket shotguns and they'll probably just leave. Like, you'll probably just get an insta dashboard, just like rage quit, their head will probably explode. So in the perk 1 slot, you do definitely need Scavenger. I cannot believe I forgot about this perk, man. I was thinking, like, late last night, I'm like, man, that class is really good, but you do run out of ammo quite quickly and there's nothing I can really do about it. And then I'm like, Scavenger exists, bro. What are you doing? So you do definitely need this for this class. You can't really run around without this. Perk 2, we've got Ghost, of course. I'm pretty keen to stay off the radar on those UAVs, and I'd very much love to use Kill Chain, but they did put it into the perk 1 slot, so now I can't use it. How could this happen to me? Perk 3, of course, we want the newly buffed Battle Hardened. At least while you're getting stunned and flashed out of existence, you will be immune to the incredibly rare Snapshot Grenade. I mean, this is obviously the right choice that they did make to balance this in this way, but they could have done more, man. Like, just make stuns and flashes, like, do basically nothing to people with Battle Hardened. Ugh. My lethal of choice is the C4, fantastic in this game, perfect for throwing bricks of explodey boys over walls, so good. And the tactical grenade of choice is the Stim Shot, because I am super sweaty, as if you couldn't tell that by the class already. Right, so the first attachment that we've got here is the barrel slot. We've got the 357 long barrel. This is that barrel for this gun. Damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control at the cost of a little bit of aim down sight speed and movement speed. I mean, we don't aim down sight with this anyway, so you don't have to worry about that, and movement speed is kind of inconsequential. We're moving quite quickly because it's a sidearm anyway. This really extends out our damage range as far as possible. This is such an important attachment for the 357. Without this, you've basically got what the Executioner was from Black Ops 2, like complete junk. You're not going to be able to snipe people from across the map, of course. This is not the pre-nerf 725, but it's still super powerful. Like, this is one of the best attachments that you can get, and it makes our 1 to 3 shot kill range sort of actually a little bit more manageable. Like, this is increased by 2 because we do have 2 of these excellent weapons. The other options in the barrel slot aren't great or really beneficial. Like, you can see here that the Silver Ordnance 357 does a similar job, but, you know, it's sort of a little bit worse in terms of the range. And the 357 Snub Nose gives us that aim down sight speed and movement speed, which we don't really want because we're not aiming down sight. So this is not too big of a deal. But yeah, the 357 long barrel is the one we do want, basically, for that recoil, the bullet velocity, and the damage range. You'll notice that we've also skipped the muzzle slot here. You can't slap a monolithic suppressor on this bad boy, so none of these options are of any use to us. Flash hider, muzzle brake, and compensator are either about concealment or recoil control, which is mostly irrelevant for this setup we're going for here, so we definitely skipped the muzzle here. Next, in the laser slot, we have to have the 5mm laser. Hip fire accuracy and sprint to fire speed. This is such a good attachment and combination of stats for pretty much every shotgun in this game, but especially relevant here. With the 357 Snake Shot, you need the hip fire accuracy to be as tight as possible. This is doubly important because we've got 2 of them. Plus, with the Akimbo perk, we cannot aim down sight, obviously, so you want to be at the spread as small as it can be. Plus, you'll mostly be sprinting around getting as close as you can to people, so sprint to fire is probably the best stat that you can get. You could also run with the 1mW variant, but this is basically a worse option than the 5mW option. Plus, the double visible lasers on these things are so cool looking. I mean, that doesn't really make a difference to the actual viability, but it looks really cool, so teensy tiny factor. You do have to have your weapons looking cool. Again, we've also skipped out on the optic slot for pretty obvious reasons. You can't aim down sight with Akimbo attached, so there is literally no point in putting an optic on. Like, it would actually be a waste of a slot, and it already feels like we don't have enough slots to begin with, so wasting one on an optic would be a little counterproductive. Next, we are talking about the perk slot, of course, because this is the most important attachment for this dumb-ass setup in this game. In the perk slot, we've got, of course, the Akimbo perk. I'll put it like this: 2 guns is better than 1 gun. Especially when you're talking about shotguns. Like, hit the like button if you do remember the Akimbo Model 1887s in Modern Warfare 2. To unlock this perk, you do have to get 3 kills with the Revolver in 5 different games with the Recon perk attached, which, if you've already unlocked the Snake Shot, is really no trouble at all. You basically unlock this attachment just for fun, like just running around shooting people. That's how you unlock it, basically. Sometimes with the 357 Snake Shot, you can actually give your enemy a chance. If you don't hit most or all of your pellets with 2 of these guns, however, you do not really give your enemy a chance at all. People just drop when they're unlucky enough to run into you, so perk slot goes to, of course, the Akimbo perk. Next, in the trigger slot, we've got the lightweight trigger, of course. Fire rate is our main draw card here, of course. This trigger lets you fire as fast as possible. You can also use the match grade trigger as well. This is also a viable option. Looks neater than the lightweight trigger. It's red. That's kind of cool. It just fires slightly more slowly at the cost of being more accurate with that aiming stability, and you do lose a little bit of hip fire accuracy, so this is up to you. Basically, if you plan on being very aggressive close to your enemies, you want to be shooting as fast as you can, so that's your lightweight trigger option. Whereas if you play a little bit slower, you'll do a little bit better being more accurate with the match grade trigger. Plus, you've got the added benefit of these bonuses, of course, applying to both of your weapons, so you'll be twice as powerful as you would be with only one of these excellent pocket shotguns. We are blocked out of the rear grip tape slot by the Akimbo perk. We'd normally have a stippled grip tape here in this slot, but we can't, so we don't. Pretty simple. I definitely wish I was able to run the stipple grip tape on this. That would be very cool. And lastly, the key piece for this weapon. This actually makes it a shotgun. In the ammo slot, we've got the Snake Shot. This increases your damage radius at the cost of damage range. Essentially, you take the Virgin stock 357 and turn it into the Chad 357 Snake Shot. Apart from the Akimbo, this is the most important attachment for this gun. Really, there is not anything more that I can say about this. This is one of the best, of course. Tacking this onto the 357 is a dream. It certainly does take a little while to level up this and unlock all the necessary attachments to make this gun super powerful, but it's kind of only really a reasonable thing to do during a double XP weekend. It is rather tedious otherwise. Unless you're hitting headshots for fun, it does take a certainly long time to level this up outside of double XP. But if you do have the time or the patience to level this thing up, you will not be disappointed. So this is our full class setup here. Welcome back to all the guys who just skipped to the end to find out the class straight away. This class setup is already crazy strong. You will definitely not regret leveling up this pistol to the max level and then unlocking the Akimbo attachment. Just remember, you do definitely need Scavenger on this class setup, so that's probably the only important thing that you do really need to remember. Other than that, you just sort of go in and just sort of mash your triggers and just shoot everyone to death. Like, it's so cool to use this and run around at like shipment and just murder people. It's so cool. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this one, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe. If you are new around here, I do very much appreciate it. It does very much help me out. We're sort of on the road, very slowly sort of going towards 500 subs. So if you could join me in that journey, help me out a little bit, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!